While we've had no shortage of superhero TV shows and movies in recent years, it's rare for one to come by and capture the imagination of audiences outside its intended demographic. Even when you do get one that breaks through that glass ceiling, it still may not capture the eye of more critical watchers. The Penguin has proven to not just be an exception to the rule, but also the gold standard going forward. It's managed to capture a side of the Batman universe often ignored in the recent film adaptations. Totally reinventing a character that has never been seen much in the public eye into something getting comparisons akin to a Sopranos or Better Call Saul character. While everyone seems to have different opinions on why the show works as well as it does, what in particular actually makes The Penguin such a standout show? The Penguin takes place directly after 2022's The Batman. The Riddler's attack has destroyed the poor neighborhoods in the city, leaving them in ruins. And mob boss Carmine Falcone is no longer around. Now, while the Penguin was possibly teased in The Batman, and this is taken shortly after such a massive event in the film, you would think that the story and characters would be more concerned with them. Instead, the show focuses on a more insular story involving the various crime families found within Gotham. This allows for the show to have room to breathe and introduce you to the different characters on its own time. This may bother some people, but given that there was a 40% rise in crime overall in Gotham, and Batman in the preceding film had undergone quite the metamorphosis and perspective change, I think it's understandable why this inner conflict, largely within organized crime, looms in the shadows. The Penguin we see or Oz bears little resemblance to the Penguin you're familiar with if you read the comics or have encountered other more faithful adaptations. This isn't to say that they completely ignored the comics, as there are references to both Dark Victory and Batman The Long Halloween. Alongside the changes to Oz, Sophia Falcone, who played a much smaller role in comic book arcs featuring her, has become an infinitely more complex and compelling character. They take her tumultuous history and fully realize it in the more grounded aesthetic of the show. Showrunner Lauren LaFranc did say that they didn't view it as a comic book show, but more as a crime drama. While that comment might seem like it's missing the mark with the usual false dialectic between comic book and competently produced show, I think her understanding of the character, as well as her going back and reading the comics, actually helped lead to the revitalization of the character. If you go out of your way and look at more of her interviews and context behind quote, you see she has a much more nuanced understanding. The Penguin retains Matt Reeves' grounded and atmospheric aesthetic from The Batman, continuing its noir-inspired tone with meticulous attention to Gotham's oppressive, crime-ridden atmosphere. The show's visual identity is shaped by production designer Kalina Ivanov, who drew inspiration from real-world disasters like Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Sandy to portray a city divided by wealth and despair. Gotham's stark inequality is central to the narrative, with affluent neighborhoods recovering quickly while poor areas remain in ruins. This setting not only highlights systemic neglect, but also serves as a grim backdrop to Oswald Cobblepot's rise to power, reinforcing themes of ambition and survival in an unforgiving urban jungle. Casting decisions further emphasize this vision. Colin Farrell embraces his role as the Penguin, leaning into the character's blend of charm and menace while exploring his struggle for dominance. Him being willing to sit through 8 or 10 hours just to do the special effects makeup goes to show you how dedicated he is to the character. He really is perfect for the role. Kristen Milioti joins as Sophia Falcone, adding depth to the series with her portrayal of a conflicted heir vying for control of Gotham's criminal underworld. The series also introduces new characters to expand the universe, while keeping a sharp focus on the gritty realism that made the Batman a standout. Together, these elements create a continuation of Reeves' immersive world-building, blending crime drama with a deeply personal character study. As 2024 comes to a close, The Penguin has already garnered accolades across various award shows and publications. Whether you're a casual viewer or someone with a more critical perspective, the show offers something to appreciate. Most criticisms stem either from misunderstandings of the Batman, or from judging the series based on goals it never intended to achieve. For me, The Penguin is easily one of my personal favorites of the year, I adored the Batman in 2022. In my opinion, it also delivered the most accurate live-action portrayal of Bruce Wayne to date. This follow-up expands on that vision, giving a lesser-known character complete reinvention while maintaining the grounded aesthetic and high production quality that defined its predecessor. Even viewers who initially criticized the Batman, often unfairly in my view, have revisited their opinions thanks to the quality of the show. The Penguin has not only elevated the character, but also boosted the reputation of the Batman universe and DC's cinematic landscape as a whole. Heads up, major spoilers ahead. In The Penguin, Gotham is still recovering from the chaos of the preceding film, with the city flooded and its criminal underworld in disarray. With Carmine Falcone's death leaving a power vacuum, Oswald Cobblepot sees an opportunity to rise to the top. The series follows his brutal climb from a lowly underling to a ruthless crime boss, navigating betrayals, shifting alliances, and deadly rivalries, including a tense confrontation with Sophia Falcone, who seeks to reclaim her father's empire. Cobblepot's ascent is marked by strategic manipulation and brutal acts, with key moments including his exploitation of Victor Aguilar's moral decline and his violent clash with Sophia. The story is a messy battle for dominance in Gotham's criminal scene, with Oswald's journey exposing the city's pervasive corruption and setting the stage for his increasingly dangerous reign. The show's gritty, character-driven narrative highlights how far Oswald is willing to go to maintain control, blending personal ambition with Gotham's broader chaos. Two scenes that really stand out for me come at the very end of the season. First, in the finale, Frances and her confrontation with her son is a powerful moment of raw emotion. Years of suppressed resentment and regret surface as she accuses Oz of becoming the very monster he wants to test him. After a heated verbal clash, she stabs him with a broken bottle, symbolizing her internal conflict between guilt over her role in his rise and anger at what he's become. The scene takes a tragic turn when Frances suffers a stroke immediately afterward, leaving her in a coma. This moment underscores the personal cost of Oswald's ambition, marking a devastating chapter in their family history and reinforcing the destructive nature of power in Gotham. The second key moment involves the death of Victor, a loyal ally to Oswald who faces a tragic end due to his unwavering devotion. Having helped Oswald secure control over the criminal empire, Victor is killed by Oswald in a brutal act of betrayal. Oswald sees Victor's loyalty as a weakness, leading him to choke him to death. This betrayal marks a pivotal moment in Oswald's transformation into a monster willing to alienate anyone close to him. Victor's death illustrates the corrupting nature of Gotham's underworld, adding yet more emotional weight to the series' conclusion. There are a lot of Easter eggs in the show, these largely coming in the shape of teases for the upcoming Batman sequel. The Penguin is seen with his iconic top hat and an umbrella in tow at the end. Not only does Sophia receive a letter from the Catwoman, but her theme plays as well. And at the very end of the show, we see the bat signal lit up once again. All things that really round out the show and build more hype for the future. There were also some smaller things I really appreciated, such as Bella was still in a sling from the gunshot in the previous movie. The airport that Sophia was going to is called Goodwin Airport. It seems to be named after the infamous comic book writer and editor Archie Goodwin. He was the editor for many iconic Batman titles, including one you see referenced a lot throughout this, that being Batman: The Long Halloween. Aside from the Easter eggs, the only other thing I really needed to mention was a small scene involving Sophia and the gift that was meant for her father. There's a lot of thematics with it being a watch in the first place, but it is a gift that she was going to give him on his birthday before she was involuntarily institutionalized. She proceeds to burn it alongside the family portrait and mansion, finally seeking closure in her life. Unfortunately, Oz has a way of stumbling into success, and the better path for her just simply was never going to happen. Overall, this film accomplished everything it set out to do and a lot more. As a casual comic book and Batman fan, and someone who enjoys noir films, I find this to be one of my favorite things this year. As much as I would like to see more of this universe, I'm kind of hoping that it just takes place within the Batman sequel and other pieces of media, as they ended this at the right time and the finale is almost impossible to continue from in a meaningful way. That being said, I'm curious what you guys have to say. Did you like the Penguin as much as others? If not, what were your main issues with the show? Does this actually hype you up for the Batman sequel, or did you mostly just enjoy it for the show itself? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. If you enjoyed, I would appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Here at Inner Spiral, we cover the shows, movies, and games we all love. So be sure to join us, and I'll see you next time in the Spiral.